Welcome to Real Estate Agent Superstars. I'm your host, RJ Baxter with Intercap Lending, and I'm on today's solo to share some very important information for you guys today on what the top producers are doing right now in their business. This is something that I hear again and again and again from the top agents that I interview on this show and that I work with in my mortgage practice. This is the basics of not only how to build a business, but to maintain a strong business. And let's face it, the market right now is tough. There's not a lot of inventory out there. Transactions are tough to come by. So this is going back to the basics of how to build a business and what you need to focus on a daily basis. And I'll tell you from my own experience, this is something that I do in my business, and it has been extremely effective. And I always kind of told myself I did this over the years, and I kind of did. But starting in November, I joined an accountability group where we do this plan that I'm going to show you today together every day for 2 hours. And that has been a game changer for me. It has moved the needle as far as my business is concerned and helped me to go into an even more sustainable business in this tough market. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen here. And for those of you that are just listening, I'm going to do my best to explain each slide as to what the content is. So we'll take this from the beginning. So this is the daily success plan for top producers. Again, this is what the top people are doing. And I'm going to also go into how to focus and really keep on this plan on a daily basis. So let's get into it. And below is my contact information if you have any questions on any of this and want to reach out. Happy to help you out with this. So the first thing is, what is the one activity in your business that brings in the most money for you? Now, if you really sit down and think about that, contemplate it, and be honest with yourself, what is it? Is it doing social media posts? Is it driving people around to see properties? What is the activity that brings you the most money? So think about that for a second and write that down. And then thinking about that one single activity, how many hours or maybe minutes did you do that specific activity last week? So now if you're not sure about that, if you're just kind of guessing how much that is, a really valuable activity that you can do is for an entire week, to keep a pad of paper by your desk or in your car, take it with you everywhere you go, and write down everything you do minute by minute, day by day. And it could be a real eye-opener as to where you actually are spending your time. So the focus of this class is to figure out how to do that one single activity even more in your business. So one mistake we make as real estate agents and as lenders is we get so busy building that we forget to milk the cow. So what am I talking about here? What am I talking about with milking the cow? What I'm talking about is focusing on the people that you already know, that know, like, and trust you, that you already work with, that you can depend on as referral sources. We sometimes get so busy finding new clients and trying to, maybe buying internet leads, things like that, that we forget about the people that already know, like, and trust us. So here is your daily success plan. This is what almost 100% of the top producers are doing right now in all aspects of business, not just real estate and mortgage. And that is 2 hours of prospecting a day, Monday through Friday. Now, I suggest right off the bat in the morning, knocking this out. If you've ever heard the term eat the frog, it's getting that thing done in the morning first that you maybe don't want to do or you're reluctant to do. You have call reluctance, whatever it is. Because if you don't do it right off the bat, the day catches up with you, things happen, things come up, the kids, your home life, something happens, or there's things that pop up at work, you have a fire to put out, whatever it is. And then even if you say you're going to do it later in the day, from my experience, it doesn't happen. So what I have done and what this accountability group has done for me is blocking out a specific time, Monday through Friday, to get this done, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, I do 10 to 12, but whatever hours it is, I suggest doing it in the morning and getting it done right off the bat. So I mentioned that accountability group. What we do is we get on together on a Zoom call. It's people across the country. They're part of my coaching group. We call it Call Stars. And we get on together for those 2 hours. The first 10 minutes or so are mindset. We share success stories. We talk about what we're going to talk about that day. And then we mute the phone, or we mute our computer rather, and we all get on the phone and start making phone calls. And, you know, it's funny that in business, at least I've noticed, it seems like if I make more phone calls, I get more business, regardless, even if I do it badly. So that is exactly what we do Monday through Friday. And another thing, too, that's been a big needle mover for me is prepping for success before these 2 hours. So what I do is I turn off all distractions. I close my emails. I turn off my phone. I let my team know that I'm going to be dark for a couple hours so they can handle the phone. They can handle anything that might come up, handle any new prospects coming in. And I am 100% focused on exactly what I'm doing for those 2 hours. Get in a focused place, so have a place that you go to make those calls. So if you, let's say you work from home and you are distracted by the kids, or your spouse comes in a lot and interrupts or asks you to do things, maybe find a separate place you can go, a separate room, an office or something where you can go and just really focus on getting this stuff done. Mindset and self-talk. This has been a huge one for me. I listen to affirmations for 5 minutes before starting this routine. And then have your list ready before you start. So a mistake I made early on is I'd get on with my group. We'd do our mindset for 10 minutes, and then I spent the next 10 or 15 minutes just getting organized. So I get organized before I actually go on the call or on the group. And then another thing, too, that's been a huge help is I use a automated phone dialer. It's called Phone Burner. And what it does is it allows me to pull up my list, and it goes from contact to contact and calls them. And it's not a telemarketing thing where it just automatically dials the number. It pulls up each contact one at a time and allows me to review it. And then I just have to press a button to dial that person. So it enables me to keep really focused and not have to look up phone numbers or dial numbers, which takes up a surprising amount of time during my call block. And then always, always, always on these phone calls, you have got to train yourself to ask for the business. And you can do it in fun ways. There's a script that I like to use. I call it the 3x2. We do 3x3 in the mortgage business. And it's just simply, can I count on you to call me anytime you have a friend, family, or coworker that's looking to buy or sell a home in the next 6 months? And we add refinance to that. And people don't mind if you ask them. If you have a good rapport with them, if they like you, if they trust you, it's a natural thing. And a lot of times I don't even have to ask. People offer it up even before I get to it. So especially past clients. So this is something really important to keep in mind, that you have got to ask for the business. All right, so what do we do each day? So the first day on Monday, this is what I call priority prospecting. This is the consumer direct stuff. So we're looking at things like expired listings. We're looking at for sale by owners, neighbors of new listings, maybe some internet leads that came in, whether you're paying for them or not paying for them. I could add to this list also looking for opportunities within HomeBot, if you're a HomeBot subscriber. And if you are and you don't know how to look for opportunities within HomeBot, I can definitely help you with that. To our list, we have artificial intelligence that tells us when people are showing characteristics that they might buy or sell a home. So we reach out to those people that are on that list. And then also referral partners are a good thing for Mondays. So, there's so many different categories that you guys could reach out to as real estate agents. So you have your lender partners, asking them, letting them know that you appreciate reciprocation, and finding out what their game plan is, what their daily success plan is for helping to bring business to you. Reaching out to builders that you know, title companies, photographers, stagers, insurance agents, home inspectors, electricians, plumbers, CPAs, probate attorneys, divorce attorneys. These are all people that you could reach out to. Now, especially if you're a really savvy agent, you developed a list of vendors that you recommend, like going back to the contractors, plumbers, electricians, home inspectors. These people know people that are looking to buy or sell a home, whether it's just people they know, friends or family, and they might also meet people professionally. So if you're referring a lot of people to your plumber, to your electrician, to your landscaper, to your home stager, all these kinds of people, it is not out of line to call them up and say, hey, I just, touch bases with them for whatever reason, build rapport for a couple minutes, and then say, hey, I'm just curious if you've come across any friends, family, or coworkers that we can help out to buy or sell a home. Can I count on you to recommend us? And I mean, if you've been sending them business, they're going to say absolutely yes. In fact, my neighbor mentioned I think they're going to sell, and I'd be happy to refer you. And then I take it a step further, and I say, awesome, I truly appreciate that. Could you please do would you consider doing a group text if they're comfortable with that to introduce us, and then I can take the conversation from there, or a group email. So that's a great way so that, because as you know, as a top agent, it's always better if you can get the prospect's information to reach out instead of your referral source just giving them your info to reach out, because a lot of times they never reach out to you. All right, the next one is on Tuesdays. So 2 hours of providing updates to sellers and buyers. Now you might be thinking, RJ, I only have one transaction going. That's not very many people, but think about all the people that are involved in the transaction. I mean, you first of all have your sellers. So if you're the one that's listing the property, you have the seller to call. And then I always call for a reason. Whatever type of category of person it is each day, there's a reason for calling. So I do this in my business. We call all the parties during the transaction. We don't call the seller, but we call the buyer, the co-buyer. We call the listing agent, the buying agent, the transaction coordinators. There's the title company. There's the homeowner's insurance company, the HOA if we have a contact there. So there's a lot of different people that can be called during the transaction, and we're providing a status update, which is a valuable thing for sure. And conversations come up during the phone calls. So I found that phone calls are way more effective and very important to do during a transaction as opposed to just emails all the time. So I like to have that phone conversation at least once per week during transactions. And then at the end of it, we just ask for the business. The same old script. And, like I said, we do change up the script sometimes, but that's the 3x2 is a great basic script to kind of give you an idea of where to start. So, and then you can also ask for reviews. That's a good time to ask for reviews. And I recommend on reviews a couple things. First of all, it's really a really good idea to ask for 5-star reviews prior to closing. If you ask at the closing, that's good too. Definitely not a bad thing. But that's the height of all the activity that's going on for the buyer or seller. That's when they're moving. It's stressful. There's a lot going on, and they might just be forgotten or slip through the cracks. So to ask during the transaction or right before closing is a great move to help increase your reviews. And the other thing that I recommend on reviews is to get a Google business page for your brand as a real estate agent and start sending people there. Not only do then not another outside company have control over reviews, but then also those reviews travel with you if you ever change brokerages. So if you are with RE/MAX and you're sending all your reviewers to the RE/MAX site, and then you leave RE/MAX, you're going to lose all those reviews. So something to keep in mind. All right, so let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday is past clients. This is my absolute favorite one. And I've heard of agents who, this is going away from the daily success plan a little bit, but it's the same type of thing, who every time they drive somewhere, they call a past client, which I think that's a great way to stay in touch. But as far as the daily success plan is, 2 hours of calling your past client database every Wednesday. I've asked agents, how long has it been since you've called your past client database? And a lot of times the answer is, never. And that's really sad because 86% of people say they would use the same real estate agent again, but it's a very low percentage that actually do. That's a really sad thing, because a lot of agents, it's again going back to that early slide of milking the cow. These past clients, this is the cow that you need to milk. And if you're spending all your time instead prospecting for new people that don't already know you, that's a way harder sale than just working with the people that already know you. And then ask them in a cool way, who else they know that they could refer to you. And what I suggest is, depending on the size of your database, we do a letter of the alphabet each week in my business. But if your database is smaller, you could do 2 letters a week, like start with A and B, then the next week do C and D, and just work your way through all of them. Now, one thing with past clients is it's really important, I think, to call for a reason. I suggest coming up with a reason, whatever it is. And like we've been calling recently because of the tax bill increases. Another one that we've been doing is all the spam texts and phone calls. There's a website people can go to called Opt Out Pre-Screen, and that opts them out of those spam texts for 5 years. And the reason why they get those spams is because when people apply for credit, they the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, can unfortunately sell their information. So unfortunately, sometimes people's info gets out there, they get all these spams. So that's been a really high value one for us to call. But a really good one too that you can do, if you haven't been calling for a while, is what I call the apology tour. It's just calling up and apologizing to your past clients for not staying in touch. And just say, hey, I wanted to reconnect. How are things with you and your family? And, just that rapport building is important, obviously. You guys know that as real estate agents. So build that rapport and then ask for the business. Another really good one is Client Appreciation Month. So you can call your past clients and say, hey, I was just reaching out because it's Client Appreciation Month here in our office, and I just wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you. And people love that one. I've gotten some awesome reactions to that particular phone call. And if you're calling a letter every week, it can be Client Appreciation Month for 4 or 5 months in a row. You always appreciate your clients, right? So that's another really good one. So hope that helps you out. But these past client calls are so, so important. I hate it when I call a past client and they say that they just closed on a house last month and they didn't even call me. That's the worst feeling in the world, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you've been in business for a while. And then extra outreach to your past clients, 5 handwritten notes per week. So handwritten notes are a big, big deal. People notice this because people don't get that many handwritten notes anymore. It just doesn't happen. There's a couple great stories. There's a couple famous people that I know about that attribute a lot of their success to handwritten notes. One of them is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning writes, I don't know how many, 5 handwritten notes a day or whatever it is, to this day, and he attributes that to be one of the big reasons for his success, and his success has continued beyond the football field. Another one too that that you would know is George Bush Sr. attributes one of the key things for him getting elected as president. He wrote 15 handwritten notes per day, which is a lot of handwritten notes, but he attributes that to his success. So write handwritten notes, reach out, birthdays, home anniversaries, thank you for the referral, just thinking about you, whatever it is, write those handwritten notes. Thursday is your pre-approved looking list. These are people that are pre-approved with your lender and they're looking for homes. So reconnect with them, confirm appointments for the weekend, keep them motivated, future casting, which is helping them to emotionally envision that new house that they're going to be in, and then ask for the referrals. Now, this is so key, these Thursday phone calls. We do this on the lending side to help protect the real estate agent's commission, because way too often people, if they don't hear from you for a few weeks, they wiggle off the hook. They find a different realtor. It's so common for buyers to look at a property on Zillow, let's say. They pull it up and they want to look at it, and they click on that request showing button, or they think they have to reach out to the agent that's advertising on Zillow, because that's the agent that's there, and they go look at the property with that agent. Before you know it, they're working with that agent. So keep them looped in with you and call those pre-approved looking buyers each week. And also the sellers that are prepping to sell is another good one to call on Thursdays. So absolutely critical in your business. Now, going back to that list of business partners that I shared a few slides ago, let's say you only have 3 buyers that are pre-approved and looking, that list is a good thing to pull up any day where you don't have 2 hours of calls and jump into either that list of your business partners or call more past clients and touch bases with them. That's another good one. So one more strategy with the pre-approved and looking people. I heard this from a top producer who they call up their buyers on Thursdays and Fridays, and they schedule them for showings even if they don't have a particular house. So they call up and they say, hey, just calling up to set up to go out and look at homes this weekend. How's 11 o'clock on Saturday for you? So they set up that hour or 2 hour block with the buyer, and then they find the properties to look at later. And then they end with, we'll send you the list of properties before the weekend so that you can know where we're heading. So I think that's great assumptive selling and a great way to get people out there and looking at properties and getting excited about it. So another strategy to get more activity going. And you can also do that too with people that aren't pre-approved already, by the way. Get them scheduled and say, hey, before we go out, we need to get you connected with the lender to get pre-approved. So is it okay if I have RJ or whoever your lender is reach out to you to get that going? Finally, Friday. This is sphere of influence. So this is where we kind of go under the hood and do some of those things that help get you noticed. It's not necessarily proactive calling people, but this is stuff like Facebook and Instagram ads, posting videos on social media, sending out videos to your database, maybe sending out a text to your database or to your list of prospects. So here's some content ideas. Now, video, you guys know if you've followed me for a while, I am huge on video. I've been doing video since 2010 consistently, and it's been a huge needle mover for my business. People recognize me because of the video. I still don't know if I'm even that good at it, but I just keep doing it because it's effective. People see my videos. They have a lifespan of forever. Once they go on YouTube, I've got so much content up there that people see me for almost everything that they might search for. And it's just a huge way for people to get to know you, even though you're not spending actual time on the phone or talking to them. It's a great way to connect. So here's some content ideas. So you could do FAQs, frequently asked questions, and then answer those questions on the video. You could share a checklist for buyers or for sellers. You could do did you know type videos, like define a real estate term. You could do current market trends. You could share testimonials. You could do share photos of homes or listings. There's just a plethora of ideas. You could do videos about your neighborhood that you're farming, about activities going on or characteristics of the neighborhood. You could interview businesses nearby your farm area, and then those businesses could become sources of referrals. That's the business-to-business marketing strategy. There are just endless ideas for videos. So if you need ideas on that, definitely call me. After doing videos for 13, 14 years, I've definitely tried it all, done it all. I've got a million ideas for videos, and I can also help you with how to get started, how to get over camera shyness, how to get over that and just get on the camera and get it done. So definitely here to help you with video. All right, so here's a summary of what we talked about. So here's some of the specifics. So what we're looking for daily is 13 hellos. So you want to try to get 13 people on the phone. And this is tried and true statistical data, that if you can hit that number, 13 hellos per day, that is what's going to move the needle and get you to the closing number that you want to do. So again, the areas are sellers, buyers, past clients, referral partners, sphere of influence, contract updates, and prospects. And then daily, 5 personal notes per day. I said per week before, that the per week is a great place to start. And then if you can get in that zone, start doing 2 a day, 3 a day, 5 a day. So all kinds of just great reasons to do notes, handwritten notes. And then weekly, another great thing to do is pop buys. Pop buys are so effective as real estate agents. You can do all kinds of stuff like builder visits. You can do past client visits, community events, all kinds of things. There's a really great agent that I work with that does Thanksgiving pies, and you probably heard this strategy, but a lot of people don't do it. They've heard the strategy, but they just don't do it. Oh, it's too much time, too much logistics. Well, he just does it, and he delivers whatever it is, 50 or 100 pies to his best clients each year. And, it's funny because real estate conversations happen when he delivers the pie, and that leads to transactions. So that's a great strategy right there on how to get some business going. And you could do anything. I mean, you could choose any reason. You could do a 4th of July pop by and bring something, or whatever it is. You could bring by a barbecue kit or whatever. Just come up with a reason why you're stopping by, and it's a great reason or a way to get a conversation going. Weekly, one per week video tip. I suggest blasting it out to your sphere of influence and then also posting on social media. Monthly, 4 per month contracts or listings with sellers or buyers. Now, going back to the statistics, if you have those 13 hellos per day and you're doing this daily success plan, it will lead to 4 transactions per month. You might be thinking, how in the heck am I going to get that done? If it's just you in your business and you're watching this, at that point, you would be wanting to talk about an assistant. And if you need help with that, call me. I have built a team for over 10 years, and I've made all the mistakes, also figured out how to do it the right way, and happy to help with ideas on that. And then monthly events. So whether it's a happy hour, appreciation dinner, holiday party, whatever it is, there's a million ideas out there for events. I've done a couple podcasts on that, actually. So look back at a couple of my previous shows, and you can get some great ideas there. Another idea is to host a class, do a home buyer class or an investor class. Those can be super effective. But that is basically the down to business, down and dirty daily success plan on how to get it done. So if you need any more help on any of this, definitely give me a call. I'm always here to help. Don't feel like I'm going to try to sell you on being your lender. I know if you're listening to this and you don't already work with me, you probably have a lender that you love and that you work with. So no big deal. No, I'm not looking to do any to sell you on working with me, but I'm always happy to help as a resource. I have an abundance mindset. That there's plenty of business for all of us, and I think that by working together, we can be all stronger together. So give me a ring if I can help out with anything. My email and phone is below, and I really appreciate all you guys listening in on the podcast today. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.